Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Felsbrunn Farm. The sun is rising, as you can see. We've got this lovely kind of hazy view in front of us. I think partially because the trees are obscuring where the sun is. You can see it's just over there. And it's this lovely hazy effect over these hills. It just really does look nice. I do like that. Anyway, it's the start of a new morning. We're ready to do some planting today. And also, if you notice, we have some money. So I'm not entirely sure whether it has to roll over to a new day or if it's because I've reloaded my save file since the last episode. But I was able to extend my loan again today thanks to having that new land. So you can see we've been able to push the loan all the way up to 1.2 million, which is very nice indeed. You can see the interest payments that we're paying out at the moment. Now that we had a loan maxed out at what, 975 yesterday, we were paying out 5.4 or nearly 5,500 in interest payments. And obviously, if we keep this loan over a million at 1.2 here, we're going to pay out even more tonight. But this does give us the opportunity to go ahead and start upgrading our equipment a little bit. So, what do we want to get rid of? Well, we own one of these now, which is good, and we've now also got enough money to maybe do a little bit of expansion on it as well. Maybe give it some higher sidewalls, a cover, put the 6-meter discs on the back of it as well. But we're not going to need to use this for a little while, so we'll leave that alone for now. What we can do is we can replace the cedar, and we can replace the fence with something a little bit more powerful. There's a bird walking on that, but I swear that bird actually walked up the side of the building before it walked along the roof. That's I might have to go back and check that footage, because I could have sworn I saw that bird walking up there. In fact, look. I thought that was a bird walking up there as well. That's actually a sign of some kind, or a metal support strut. I don't know. Mind's playing tricks with me this morning. That was a little weird. But yeah, this gives us the money to actually upgrade our tractor and upgrade our seeder. Let's get something a little bit more powerful. So what I'm thinking of is getting the Case 7200 Pro. It's 98,000 with a base power line of 170 horsepower. Now that on its own is actually more powerful than our fence. And if we were to upgrade the fence to 150, that would still cost us 93,500. So it's only going to cost us 4,500 more for an engine baseline that is 20 horsepower more than the best that this can get to. Although we will suffer with the loss of the ability to run a front loader. This cannot run a front loader, but it can go all the way up to 260 horsepower, which is very nice indeed. Certainly give us a nice little boost. So I'm thinking one of those, and I'd like a bigger seeder. So I'm thinking we upgrade to the Vardestadt Rapid. Now, if we do go with that, it does mean that we will have to fertilise our fields an extra stage, because this does not fertilise as it plants. It literally just holds seed. Now, that's not a bad thing, I think. I think that'll actually work out quite nicely for us. It's certainly 6 metres means double the size of our current seeder. We'll be able to plant these fields a lot quicker, and when this field is rolled into one field, having that extra width on our seeder will make that much easier. And I'm also thinking that we get ourselves a log trailer for when we come to this, to cutting these trees down, and also a stump grinder, and we actually buy those. Look at that. I was right, I just saw a bird walking upside down on that. It's just flown off, but that's weird. We're seeing birds walking upside down and vertically up the side of buildings. Strange things are happening here in Felsbrunn. Very strange things. I thought I was losing my mind for a moment, but now I'm not so sure. Now I think there is some very strange stuff happening here. I'm going to watch this bird, see where he goes. I don't want to get too close and shoo him away. Another one's just appeared. Come on. Prove me right. Walk up vertically up the side of something. Oh. I spooked that one by turning the light on. he's not going to move, is he? Okay, right, back to where we were. Yeah, I'm thinking another bird. I'm a little bit wary of these birds now. Any bird that can walk vertically up a building is a little bit sinister in my eyes. Look at that! There he goes, just walking straight up the side of the building. Okay, that is weird. That's weird. Right, let's focus back on what we're supposed to be doing. Logs. I want to get something to make the transporting of those logs easier. So I'm thinking maybe getting the stepper just here. We could go with a timber runner. But that's quite big. I don't really want to have to spend all that money. Well, I say all that money. That's actually cheaper. But you know, we'd need something reasonably heavy, reasonably powerful to pull that weight. Now the Fent isn't going to cut that. The case possibly might with a maxed out engine. But we'd need a dolly for that as well. A dolly costs us 9,000, so it would be costing us 37 for something that would be quite cumbersome for us to use. I don't know. I really don't know what to use here. It'd be nice if there was a longer trailer that was more suitable for logs, but didn't cost us an absolute fortune or wasn't overly sized. See, that would be quite handy, and that would match the size of the logs that we're trying to cut as well. It's 54,000 though, it's a little bit too pricey. We could also get a chipper, so we could chip some logs. Again, very expensive, and we are limited by just how much we can spend. Let's get rid of the cedar first of all and the fence. See how much money they bring in between the pair of them, and then we can drive back with the new cedar and the new tractor, see what we've got left over, and that can determine how we then spend the rest of the money. We don't have to spend all of it either, you know. Let's just empty that out. There we go. A little bit of fertilizer, a little bit of seed left over. We'll take this down to the store. We'll upgrade it to the Case 7200 and the 6-meter Vardestadt cedar. And as I say, once we've done that, we'll see how much money we have left over and make a decision on what to purchase next. So I will see you in a moment. Okay, so the Fent and the cedar have been sold. We've got 20,900 for the cedar and 46,000 for the Fent. So let's buy our new case. And this thing with Michelin's looks fantastic. They are so much bigger. These are standard tyres. Look at that. They're almost like flotation tyres. These things are huge in comparison. I'm going to go with the wides as well. In fact, have I got wides with weights? No, I don't. We'll just go with wides. I'm going to uprate the engine to 260. And buy that. There we go. Let's also buy... where is it? New cedar. That's planters, so cedars is there. It's 76,000. It's not a cheap cedar by any stretch of the imagination, but worth it, I think. Now there is an attachment which we could possibly look at. It's not in this section. It must be in the planters section. Like an extra seed box. Yeah, there we go. That's designed to work with the tempo, so it gives extra seed to the tempo itself, and has the connecting hoses gig as well. Now I've seen that hooked up on the larger tempo, and there's no connecting hoses, so maybe it's because they're incompatible for that particular animation. That's designed for the V8 version, which is the smaller one, but it does still function. It does still give you the ability to carry around extra seed. So we have spent 222,500 on a brand new 7250 and a new seeder to go with it. And that leaves us with just $53,000 or euros left. That's quite pricey. That's more than we can afford in terms of buying that, but only just. That's really, really kind of just missed out on that one. I'm toying with the idea of an extra trailer as well. I've got one trailer at the moment currently in 4,000 litre capacity mode, one of these SEKs like that, so I can load my egg pallets in there. I'm going to try and wait until the trailer's full before we sell the eggs. But if we get really desperate for some cash, then we've always got something that we can go and sell. The other one of those I want to kind of keep in flatbed configuration, so we have a way to transport pallets. So we might need something a little bit bigger. There are a few different options. I do kind of like the Siva 720 here from Scheitermaker. It's a bit expensive. It's a bit more than we can afford. I'd love to try this Annaburger 70,000 litre trailer as well. This is the one that raises at the rear when you tip, as opposed to raising at the front to tip. I'd love to get my hands on one of those, but again, it's a bit pricey and it's a bit big as well, really. It's beyond the capabilities of even our case. There is the Cramper Bandit. We could afford that. 39,200 litres isn't too bad. And again, we could perhaps, well, we can't afford the wheel switch, but there's that one. Obviously, we could go for something like a Joskin, or we could go to one of these aggro liners, the TDKs that we're used to. There are a couple of mod trailers out now as well. So we do have this one, although this is the semi-trailer. For a second, I thought that was the old TDK Bulls, but it's not. And we do have this modded, axled version of the Stratman 802, but I think do I really want to go with another trailer? Thinking maybe one of these aggro liners here. They're a little bit cheaper, a little bit larger than what we have at the moment. 21,000 litres, nearly double the capacity of one of our other trailers on its own. Might be useful, might be a bit more flexible. Let's buy one of those. Let's take a look at some of the options we have as well. Again, we can change the wheel options to Michelin's. We can't change the wheel setup. They're either standard or wide, depending on which brand we go with. We can change the design colour on the side from white to colour, depending, so it's either green or white, as you can see. And we can change the main colour to a few different options as well, like so. None of them particularly go well together, so we'll just leave it in the standard configuration, I think. But I will get the Michelin's, so let's buy one of those, and that leaves us with just 25,000 left. So we can't really afford to do anything else. Let's get our seeder back to the farm. We'll get it loaded up with seed. In fact, actually, while we're here, let's buy the seed right now. There we go. And then what we've got at the farm will be top up, because 3,000 litres I don't think is going to be enough to seed all of our fields. We still don't need to worry about getting a cultivator, because as with the Agromash, this is a direct drill seeder as well, so it will cultivate for us. And there we go, seeder is full. So let's take this back, start the seeding process, and then while that's going on, we'll come back and collect our trailer. with the New Holland, and then probably going to be contracting again to try and earn a little bit of cash once we've got our planting out of the way. So I'll see you back in just a moment. So we have two kind of distinct areas. We've got this side of the road and the original side of the road where our first two fields are. We're going to split our crop across those two kind of different field types. Although actually I might go 3 different crops. I'm going to start off by planting canola on our brand new freshly cut field, the one that we were working on yesterday. And it's been a while since I've done any manual seeding, so it's really rough down the side of that field. Let's just carry on down and join the field through the car park. Got a really big, powerful case on the job for this one. This is such a fun tractor to drive. I was a little unsure of this when I first saw it. I wasn't sure how much I'd use it, but having played around with this on a different file, I've come to really enjoy this tractor. There we go. So you can actually see the shape of this field that we cut a little bit more clearly now, now that the sun is up. We start about here, that should cover the lip on the other side as well. So let's get this turned on. I'll try and manually hold the line where I can. You see we're getting bounced around a little bit as we're one set of wheels on the grass, one set of wheels on the field. There we go. Can't quite cover the field. That's all right. We'll loop back in a moment, make sure we get full coverage there. So we'll put canola on this field. It's a good sized field, so we should get quite a nice little haul from this. I'm thinking soybean at the main farm again. You see what I mean about it being really rough and bumpy. That's going to make joining these fields a bit harder when we do get to that. But I'm thinking canola here, and then maybe soybean at the main farm, and I'm not quite sure what to do on field 3. I might do more canola. I might do something a little bit different and go for a different crop. There we go. So let's get back to the edge. I'll turn my cruise control down. A bit too much. There we go. This is so that I don't get a sudden lurch of acceleration when I get to the end and raise the seeder. This is a kind of something I've been trying to do since Farming Sim 17 is match the cruise control of my vehicle to my equipment operating speed. Just so that I can continue working quite comfortably and actually raise the equipment at the end of each pass and then drop it back down again and not have that sudden change in speed, that sudden lurch in acceleration. When cruise control tries to go from 12 miles an hour all the way back up to 26 or 32. Because when you're trying to turn and then drop the equipment, you know, that sudden lurch and acceleration makes everything so much harder to control. And with these bumps, you know, we want to keep that control where we can. Like that. Just makes things a little bit easier. I could possibly even go a little bit slower. We don't have to speed at this. We don't have to operate at this speed if we don't want to. We could slow things down a little bit. Oops, I've been drifting without even realising. We'll tidy up again in a moment. Oh, and what I do need to do is turn plant growth off. There we go, so that our crop all grows in at the same rate, rather than half a field grows in at one rate and the other half grows in at a different rate, and then the next field grows in at an even different rate, and so on and so forth. It just makes it so much easier when all the crops are ready to harvest at the same time and they all grow at a uniform rate. This makes things easier for us to manage. There we go. Speed back to the end of the field again and carry on planting. I'll get the canola put in on this field. I'll have a continuous think about what I want to put in on field 3. And then I'll catch up with you again in a little while. Okay, there we go. We've almost finished this first field. Just this final little strip here to do. And I've decided I'm going to plant canola on field 3 as well. So we'll have 2 fields of canola and then 2 smaller fields back at the main farm with soybean on them. And I figure we'll just stick to those 2 crops for now because they're good money crops. And we're at a point where we don't really need anything else. We don't have a planter that can let us do things like corn or sunflowers. Plus we would have to buy another header as well. It's extra expense that we just don't really need at this stage, although we will look to get into those crops as we get more fields and more requirements as well. We don't really need to go with wheat or barley to higher volume but lower value crops because we don't have a baler, so we're not going to be messing around with the straw, not for a while. We don't need straw for any animals because we don't have pigs, sheep, or pigs, cows, or horses, which would need the straw as a byproduct. So we may as well stick to the crops that we know are going to give us very good returns on the investment in terms of canola and soybean, and rather than just sticking to one single crop across all 4 of our fields, this gives us a bit of a good spread, a bit of a balance, so that if we go all canola and then it takes a while to get a really strong canola price, we're kind of stuck twiddling our thumbs waiting for the markets to improve, and that will slow us down a little bit. But if the market price is slow for canola, it could be good at the same time for soybean. So if we have something for both crops, then we're not stuck waiting for just one set of prices to change. We have more flexibility as to how we can sell and when we can sell, and it just helps keep money coming into the farm, because we are going to be paying out a lot in interest every day, and it just gives us something, some extra way to balance our crops. One other thing I have noticed as well, you may remember back when we were doing some baling on our first fields, that the baler worked in backwards, worked in reverse. It's the same for the seeder. It would help, of course, if I turned it on to demonstrate that, but if I plonk it down here, for example, turn the seeder on and then just reverse, we can actually plant backwards with the seeders, which again is something we couldn't do in 17. Now I get the feeling that that's probably not supposed to be what we're not supposed to be able to do that. And I do wonder if that's just a result in the way that the coding has been written for 19 as an unexpected side effect, is that we can actually run pretty much, it would seem, all of our ground equipment in reverse. I'm pretty sure we can cultivate and plough in reverse as well. And we certainly shouldn't be ploughing in reverse. So I get the feeling that you know, there are a few little things that may change in time as the game starts getting its patches. We may lose the ability to run our equipment backwards. It's handy at the moment. If we do make a mistake, we can just reverse over the area and not have to kind of reverse past it and then drive back over it and you know, forwards again. So it helps speed up things a little bit when we do make a mistake. I'm trying so hard not to knock those signs over. Just about got away with it. There we go. But yeah, it's an unexpected thing. I'm not going to take much advantage of it because it is kind of a bit naughty, a bit wrong. Not in the sense that it's cheating, it's just, you know, you shouldn't really be doing that with your equipment in real life. You would damage it, and I'm pretty sure of that. So we're going to try and respect that and try not to do that if we can. Let's see, I've got 1,425 litres of seed left. I might possibly be able to actually get this field done like this without needing to refill the seeder. It's so nice that the canola does not just burn through seed like it did in 17 anymore. A much reduced planting rate. And yet we still get a good yield and a good price. So canola, I think, has been balanced a bit better. If you remember back when we played 15, canola was the money crop. It was the crop to plant to raise the money. Because in terms of comparison against wheat and barley, it was about half the yield, but about twice the price. And then it kind of got a little bit nerfed to a degree with 17. You know, the value was still good, the yield was still decent, but the amount of seed that you needed to plant the field went up astronomically. And it kind of seems to have been balanced out a little bit better this time around. You know, it's not quite as heavy on the seed requirements, so it now has become a good value kind of alternative to soybean again, and certainly a much better value crop in terms of value, you know, price per seed compared to, say, wheat or barley. So I'm going to carry on seeding away over here, and once this is done, we'll get the seeder refilled, move over to our other two fields and start planting our soybean. Well, I was wondering if I would be able to actually completely seed this field. Word salad again. Yeah, I was hoping I could seed the entire field before I ran out, and we're just going to make it look down to 130 litres left. So that's actually worked out really well. It's going to save having to make another trip to the store for extra pallets because we have got enough already, and despite my plant growth being turned off, my plants have grown. I didn't turn my plant growth off. I thought I had done. Oh no. Oh, that's frustrating. Okay, so we have some plant growth already. That's frustrating. Make sure that stays off. These trees don't look as though they've grown anymore. Maybe they will overnight. And we'll get this topped up and then start seeding away our soybean. I'm actually going to get a worker to do the soybean for me so we can head off and collect our trailer. There we go. So let's just grab this little bit of seed here. There we go. That's actually a bit more seed in there than I thought there would be. Let's also grab the pallets with the pallet fork. We've put 33 hours on this thing already. Where are the arms? Must be over by the chickens. So yeah, quite a bit of hours put on our New Holland. It's been an absolute trooper so far. There we go. So the food area is cleaned up. Probably give this thing a bit of a clean as well. It's a little bit dirty. Right, let's start with the 2 pallets that are already in here. I still want to see if I can get 2 pallets to empty at the same time. You can see how much the top pallet is sliding and moving around. I'm going to try and be really careful this time. Every time we've tried this so far, we've bumped and knocked, and that second pallet has fallen off. This time is the time. I hope. Yep, cover is open. Tilting back to stop the other one from disappearing too much. There we go, managed to catch it. How's about that? Nice little magic. I say magic. Nice bit of balancing there. And there we go. That should be enough seed to keep us going. See how dirty our seeder is already, look, after just a couple of fields. Wonder how much damage it's taken and how much it's going to need to be maintained after this. We'll find out in a moment. So let's start at this end so we don't have problems colliding with trees. Change the crop to soybean, there we go. In position. And off we go. Good stuff. Right. Let's go collect our brand new trailer. And I think while I'm down there, actually, I'll also take this pallet truck with me as well. And we'll get some more liquid fertilizer. Maybe a little bit more solid as well. And possibly a bit more lime. I don't know. But I need to take these off first of all. So I'll get these off and just out of the way, and then we'll come back with our new trailer and some fertilizer and possibly a little bit of seed on here as well. So it's taken a little while and a very slow drive back up the hill, but we are making our way back to the farm with a lot of supplies and our brand new trailer as well. It's a little bit of a convoy actually. Our seeder has finished on the first field, as you can see. There he is, parked up, waiting for instruction. There's our trailer, and behind that is our low loader, our flatbed, loaded up with supplies. So we're bringing back 3 big pallets of liquid fertilizer because we pretty much don't have any left. We're bringing back 6 pallets of solid fertilizer and 4 more pallets of seed. So this should hopefully, combined with what we already have here, keep us going for a nice little while. We won't have to do any restocking for a while after this. I need to get everything organised, and I have now returned the Mahindra. We're still paying our sort of daily lease costs on that thing, and seeing as we hopefully won't need to go back there for a while, plus we have the, you know, the front loader arms, it just seems like an expense that we can do away with now. So let's get the trailer parked up first of all. Actually, I'm not sure where to put that, so I'll stick it underneath the silo for now. There we go, and we have one with a cover as well now, which is good. There we go. Like a larger trailer with a cover. Drop that there. And let's just jump into our brand new case. Get that restarted. And once again, we'll start closest to the tree line and move away from it, so we're not going to have any potential collision issues. This is going to potentially be a little bit longer as a unit than our last tractor seeder combo, so we might still have an issue with boxes at the chicken coop getting in the way, but hopefully we'll be alright. We'll keep an eye on that. There we go. There goes our seeder. Now we need to kind of deal with all of this. So, in terms of supplies, the reason I brought back extra solid fertilizer is because we can use that in our breedle. The liquid fertilizer is obviously for our sprayer, for spraying our fields, and also for doing spray contracts as well. And seed, well, that goes without saying, we kind of need that. So amongst all of that there, we've got enough supplies to keep our crops planted and fertilised for a while to come yet, which is good. It means we won't have to make any long runs back to the farm, back to the shop for a while in terms of stocking up. Plus, given that we are going to be spending a lot of money on interest payments, we're going to be struggling for income until we start selling crops. And I'd rather have the supplies so that I can at least hold stuff in storage and continue to replant and refertilise our fields, rather than being kind of stuck waiting for stuff. I'm going to move these out of the way, if I can actually hook up to them. Come on. A little bit too high, I think, with the forks. Maybe a little bit too low. Why can't I... I'm going in at an angle, I think, by the look of it. That's the reason why. There we go. So, yeah, there is the risk that we just won't be able to afford to restock everything. This helps to do away with that. Let's see. Let me put the spray, the herbicide, behind our sprayer. We'll keep that actually attached as a counterbalance for now. If we move this here out the way, then we know we've got our fertilizers together with our seeds, and then if we do need herbicide, it's here close to the weeder. But also where the sprayer is as well, which is the piece of equipment that's going to need to use it. I hate running the camera at these close proximities like this, but because of the collision we kind of have to. Really hope that that mod makes its way onto the mod hub soon, and it's going to make things so much easier once we get that. There we go. So the herbicide is out of the way. Drop the sprayer in front of that. There we go. And now it's time to just tidy up the rest of the pallets and the yard. So I'll see you in a little while. Alright, so pallets are all stacked and away. Just got that tiny little bit of lime left in here. Stack that out the way over there. We have a need to kind of start fertilizing our fields, and actually before we go any further, let's configure the wheels so that we can do this without damaging our crops as they continue to grow in. So we can fit skinnies on this. There we go. So if we customize this, the extension is affordable. We get that for free, apparently. Interesting. We'll have to pay a little bit for the large one, but we've got enough just. Narrows are going to cost us. Narrows are going to cost us 500. Spreading units too expensive. And we'll put a small extension on and then pay for the narrow wheels, and we'll make that customization there. There we go. Now we'll put some fertilizer in this. And we'll use this to spread on the fields that we've already planted. And then we'll probably spray them with their second application. A little bit, he's trying to freak out. Well, that's one way of doing it. I think it's stopped emptying. We are going to need to skewer that one again. Yeah, there we go. So that's what was left over from our other seeder. Let's get a couple more pallets in there as well. Go. We'll see if we can very carefully do the same again. Do both pallets at the same time. Keeping the speed down so it doesn't fly off the top as we round this corner. Our seeder looks to be almost finished as well. You can just see it there through the trees working away. See our fertilizer level going up ever so slowly. Alright, there we go. I'm going to drop off the front loader just here. And we'll switch the wheels over to skinnies on this. This is going to become our small tractor for stuff. Let's see. Customize. And narrow tyres. There we go. Really should clean our tractor. We'll do that once we've finished our fertilizing. So we've got 2,753 litres. I hope that's going to be enough. Let's make our way over to the first two that we did, our two canola fields. Get those spread first. There goes the seeder. And I'm guessing the other field's going to be fully at stage 1, not half and half like this one here, which is what I thought I was avoiding by turning off plant growth. It's just for some reason I didn't. I thought I had done. And we're pretty much out of cash now. All those extra bits that we purchased have completely swallowed up that leftover money we had from our loan. But as I said, we will not be able to continue to buy resources after another couple of days until we start selling something. So this just protects us a little bit. It means we have seed and we have fertilizer to go out and work our land, and also to run contracts if we need to as well. Wow, that actually spreads a bit further than I was expecting. I was thinking about with lime in the back. That seems to spread a fair bit further. There we go. We'll have a little bit of a patch at the edge there. We'll have to tidy that up later. So while that's doing that, let's get the seeder cleaned and put away. You can see we've still got 1,000 litres in there, so that's actually worked out really nicely that we've been able to do both fields and still have stuff left over. Let's get cruise control back up. Take our little shortcut through the trees. Oh, I didn't get a stump grinder. I knew I'd forgotten to get something. It's too late now. We will definitely have to cut down a couple of these trees to be able to afford one of those. Let's see, the cheapest stump grinder is £5,000. So yeah, that's 2, maybe 3 trees, probably 3 trees. You know, actually no, we're going to have debt as well. So, okay, well let's at least get this cleaned off. We'll check to see how much wear and tear it's taken as well. Oh, quite a lot. Yeah, let's repair. There we go. So we're in negative debt again. Give it a nice little clean before we put it away. There we go. And we'll slot that in next to the weeder and fertilizer. And then hopefully the bridle will fit in next to it. If not, we can always move it to a different bay. But I'd like to try and start doubling things up in here as we get more and more equipment. We're going to need the space. There we go. So the Breedle should fit in there quite nicely. The pallet trailer, that needs to be cleaned. I think we'll just leave that parked in front of the pallets. Although that might be a bit in the way. I'll stick it in the end for now. So just give this a quick spray as well. So it is a little bit dirty. A little bit muddy. See the mud on the inside of the mud flaps there. That's kind of cool. There we go, and we'll give the case a very quick spray as well. It's not going to need too much, just a little bit to clean off the linkages. There we go. So if we keep our flatbed trailer as a temporary kind of solution, we can store that here in this end box like that. Doesn't need to be too neat. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with the leftover lime. It's only 24 litres, it's not exactly what you'd call a lot. And that is going to take up one of the bays in there near the combine, I think. Right, let's take a look at, let's get the engine off, take a look at our New Holland spraying away. It's a little bit too far off now to continue. Oh wow, look at the working width of this with fertilizer covering the whole width there. I didn't think we would. We're just about getting away with it. Very nice. So I severely misjudged how wide the working width was on that first attempt. Just jumped out. I meant to actually fire the worker and jumped out of the vehicle instead. Let's just tag that little patch if it's still there. It might have been cleared up by now. Did I actually use up any fertilizer there? No, I didn't. Okay, well, never mind. That's left over from when I was spreading lime. I was getting the worker to pay for the lime as well. There we go. Sugar beets with lots of dead weeds on it. That's what our neighbour field is up to. We will own that field at some point, but a very expensive piece of land, you know, well over 400,000 euros. So even if we hadn't bought the new equipment, it would still have taken us another couple of 100,000 at minimum to be able to buy that. So I figured it would be much more efficient for us to just go ahead and upgrade our equipment so we can work faster and better, and not have to worry about scraping by with minimalist equipment. Step in a touch. There we go. So we'll get our field spread here as well. Just watching the rate going down. It's not too bad. And once I've done this field here, we'll get the next two done as well. And then that's pretty much it for today. If I've got a little bit of time left and a little bit of light left, I might go off and try and do a contract or so, just to balance the books a little bit. Might run some transport missions if they're available, because they'll be quick and easy. But essentially that is the end of another episode. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more Felsbrunn Farm very soon.